Barbara Sellers. She is a Shreveport Fire Department captain, kind of the queen of the fire department, to be honest, and the union president. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Aaron. Good morning, Robert.
We've got to talk to you. We had little to no attention on the sales and use tax that's on the ballot today for the city of Shreveport for the fire department. It's a 0.25% tax. It is a renewal, correct?
Yes, it is a renewal and a removal of the sunset, which means that this will just go before the voters, asking them to permanently renew an existing dedicated tax. It will not increase the tax burden for any of our citizens or visitors in the city of Shreveport.
Okay, so when you say dedicated tax, define that for us and tell us what the money goes to.
It is dedicated since 2002, Robert. It goes to fire and police personnel salaries, equipment, and training. It is already dedicated. It is in the fabric of our budget. We depend on it every day, and it makes it very difficult for the leaders of both agencies to do long-term strategic planning when you have to go back before the voters.
How much money does this bring in every year?
Aaron, it represents for each agency approximately $5.6 million.
Wow. Okay, let's talk about that removal of the sunset, because that's the thing that people are confused about. This essentially would leave this 0.25% tax on the books forever?
It would permanently renew it. And what this means is by renewing this tax and removing the sunset, it's already on an existing tax, which means the voters will not have to renew this every 5 years, and it will save the voters by not having to finance a election every 5 years. In 2017, it was on the ballot alone.
Now, you made an interesting point a couple of seconds ago. You said that the reason, in your mind, the reason that ending the sunset provision of this tax is because it allows city bosses, specifically in fire and police departments, to cement their strategic planning.
That's right, Robert. It allows for them to go past that 5-year mark and do some long-term forecasting, and it's essential for both agencies. And this was centered in 2002 about recruitment and retention of the highest level trained personnel to deliver the services that our citizens expect from both agencies. And in present day, that remains true. Every 5 years when this comes up, it is a very unstable feeling for those that could be impacted in the event that this was not renewed.
Let me ask you this. We're talking with Barbara Sellers, Shreveport Fire Department captain, and you're the fire department's union president. Could you assure us while we're talking about this today that the police and fire department would not need any other new taxes or new revenues from the voters if this passes today?
Aaron, I can only speak to this particular funding mechanism. I don't know what may come up in the future, but I can tell you this. This matter, this issue, has been overwhelmingly supported for 14 years, from the inception with over 77%, I believe, of the voting supporting this in 2002 with 51,000 plus voters coming out, and it has continued to be supported throughout that time frame. What the future forecasting holds, I would have to yield to the time and the judgment of our leaders of both agencies. But I have no knowledge of any new funding mechanism coming forward on fire and police that would go before the voters. I don't have any knowledge of that.
Does it worry you, Barbara, to have this measure on a ballot that is going to draw so many people out and they're going to see that T word and go,
You know, Aaron, you raise a great question. I think there's a lot of factors that are going to play into this. First and foremost, the language on any initiative is complex. So the voter going in today is going to have to understand what the issues are before them. And we know this is a very challenging political climate, and this is probably a historical day for us in our country. And getting people to get through the candidates over to the issues and over to the only proposition on the ballot that impacts fire and police with the 6 constitutional amendments, we want to keep our voters focused and keep them channeled on what the issues are. So I think there are challenges. I think that keeping their stamina up to make it through the entire ballot and understand what a vote of yes on that only proposition means.
Barbara, any idea what this costs the average taxpayer? What's it cost me? What's it cost Robert? Any idea?
This is 1/4 cent. So when you put that in terms and you take a penny and you put a crosshair through it, it's a very small amount, but it's huge to both fire and police in their budgets, and it is dedicated. We are operating currently on that money, and it's essential for us to continue the level of services that our citizens depend on.
You guys in the fire and not to put words in your mouth, and I don't think I am, that you guys in fire and police, first responders, you literally see this money as saving lives.
Absolutely, Robert. It helps us safely deploy the services to our citizens at that highest level of expectation. And, I'm proud to tell you, as a member of the Shreveport Fire Department, with almost 27 years of service, we continue to lead in the nation by exceeding the industry standard in many of our areas of expertise. And we want to continue that. And we want to be able to recruit and retain people that can deliver that service.